Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Seeing temperatures climbing up into the low 30s at this time, and our peak wind over the last hour was around 35 miles per hour. We are currently in that wind advisory and expecting that to hold as we move through most, if not all, of the day today. Overall, seeing a quiet weather day with the exception of the breezy conditions, and mostly sunny conditions should continue through much of the day as well as we move into a quieter weather pattern going into the weekend and next week, and we'll start to see those temperatures moderating as well. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, still have that tight pressure gradient over the local region, bringing those breezier winds between that area of low pressure well off the coast and this area of high pressure off to the west. Gradually, this area of high pressure will build in over the region for the weekend, and that's going to see those winds start to subside as we go into the evening, and we'll see fairly calm winds or lighter winds as we move through the weekend ahead. Looking at the upper level winds this morning, northwesterly winds through the lower portion of the column here becoming more west, northwest to westerly as we get up to the 20 to 25,000 foot levels, seeing our peak wind of 94 knots at 25,000 feet, and our freezing level this morning was at the surface. If we take a look at the current visible satellite, we can see mostly clear skies across the region, some clouds streaming off the waterways with the winds and further off the coast. Otherwise, just some additional clouds off to the northwest. But again, just seeing that snow cover across the local area, and we should see that start to melt off as we move through the coming days. If we look at our European model here for the extended forecast, zoomed out here again, as mentioned, we'll see high pressure building in over the region. No precipitation expected, and we'll see those winds subsiding as we move through the overnight time frame. We'll continue to see partly cloudy to mostly sunny conditions as we move through the weekend, as with the exception of this short wave pushing through late tomorrow evening into early Sunday. It's going to bring no precipitation, but will bring some additional clouds through the area as we move through that time frame. But then things clear back up as we move into Sunday. We'll start to see those thickness values raising as we move through Sunday and into the beginning of next week. That's going to bring in some more seasonable air as well as even above average temperatures as we get, or just above average temperatures as we get into the work week next week, as we'll see those temperatures climbing into the low to mid 50s by the time we get into the middle of next week. We'll see here as we get overnight Tuesday night into Wednesday, this short wave pushes into the area. This will be have a chance of bringing some light rain into the local area during that overnight time. The model's indicating most of that drying out, but can't rule out a very slight chance of maybe a light shower during that time frame. As we move into Wednesday, that short wave pulls out of the area. Wednesday looks to be a continuation of the quiet conditions, and then a better chance of rain looks to move in as another trough dips down into the region as we move through the day on Thursday. As you can see, the model indicating here some widespread light to moderate rain showers pushing through, and then behind that front, possibly seeing some colder conditions briefly moving into the region for the end of the week and into the weekend. So if we look at our 24-hour weather risk chart for today, we do have that red risk for winds at about 25 knots. Again, we are currently in the wind advisory and do expect that to hold through most, if not all, of the working hours today, seeing those peak winds out of the northwest, 12 to 17 knots, gusting up to 27 knots. Seeing our high temperature climbing up to 37 degrees later this afternoon, but we will see those wind chill values continue in the 20s as we move through that time, and should see mostly sunny skies with just a few clouds around. We'll have a very slight chance of seeing ceiling develop around 4,000 feet should we get some surface heating and a cumulus field developing, but that looks to be on the lower end of possibilities. Again, overall, mostly sunny and partly cloudy conditions as we move through the day today. We'll see mostly clear conditions as we move through the overnight time frame, and again, those winds will start to subside. We'll be back to green for those elevated winds, and seeing those winds drop down to around 4 to 9, 5 to 10 knots out of the northwest. So we will see that temperature cool down to around 20 degrees. And with that slight breeze continuing and those cooler temperatures, we do have a yellow risk for wind chill values below 10 degrees. Right now it looks like we should stay in the low teens as we move through that early morning time frame. We'll see tides running normal, and looking at the extended forecast here, again, the weekend looks much quieter. Partly to mostly cloudy conditions late tomorrow as that shortwave pushes through, and then back to mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions for Sunday. We'll see temperatures gradually warming through the weekend, highs back in the 40s, and then eventually into the upper 40s as we get into the end of the weekend. Those low temperatures climbing into the low to upper 20s. As we get into next week, we continue quiet weather, seeing partly cloudy conditions, our high temperatures climbing into the 50s, our low temperatures climbing into the 30s, eventually making it into the upper 50s, and for our highs and upper 30s for our lows. As we get into Tuesday, we have about a 15% chance of seeing some shower activity with that first short wave that pushes through, but looks like most of that will dry out, at least the way the models are indicating it right now. We'll see some slightly breezy conditions behind that for Wednesday. Overall partly cloudy, highs staying in the mid-50s for Wednesday, lows in the upper 30s. Continuing into Thursday, similar conditions temperature-wise, but this one we'll see that better chance of some rain showers pushing through the area as that cold front and upper level trough dips into the region. So continue slightly breezy conditions and a chance for some rain showers pushing through the area. Looking at about a 40% chance. Could see that increase as we get closer to the event and see some better confidence in the modeling. That's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again on Monday at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend.